prossima poetessa è Helen Soraghan Dwyer, poetessa irlandese, e la presenterà la socia della Casa della Poesia di Como, anche lei poetessa, Alessandra Corbetta.
Helen Dwyer, scrittrice e poetessa, è presidentessa dell'Unione degli scrittori irlandesi. Nelle sue poesie, selezionate per questa edizione di Europa in versi, a fare da trade union è una drammatica e pervasiva idea di morte, di fine inesorabile, di non possibilità di ritorno. La morte non viene evocata, non assume contorni indistinti e nebulosi, ma al contrario diviene protagonista delle fattezze concrete e tangibili. La morte è bara e tomba, è il saluto che la madre non darà più al figlio, è il rossetto che non toccherà più le labbra che colorava. Non ci sono divinità o filosofie extraterrene a consolare il dolore straziante che la tremenda donna nera trascina con sé, ma solo gesti umani che nella loro consapevole impossibilità di ricostituire lo stato delle cose tracciano l'unica linea di continuità ammessa tra il mondo di chi va e quello di chi resta. Una poesia realistica, sofferta e sofferente, che la Dwyer ha il grande merito di accompagnare in ogni singolo verso con una dignità spiccata e intensa, quella dignità che sopra e sotto la terra definisce e garantisce il senso autentico di umanità.
Buongiorno a tutti. I will read 10 poems and they're all quite short. This room, in memory of my mother, May. In this room with no view, nights seem to outnumber days. They march through your mind like wounded soldiers returning from battle, tired, bloody, not yet relieved. In this room with no view, the past lies beside you. The future is for other people. Every day, hungry dogs gnaw your bones relentlessly. In this room with no view, indignity introduces herself on faltering footsteps. Humiliation sneaks in with everything you can no longer do. Outside, they walk in the rain, doze on homeward buses, never knowing they are blessed. Clay, in memory of Gerard. The morning after your funeral, as I woke from broken sleep, the first thing I saw was my boots. The rain that day softened the ground for your grave diggers, so typical of you to give them no trouble. I hope I can forgive them soon for waiting there like vultures to get the job done. Some woman led me away from your grave, but she couldn't take my sorrow away. I tried to cling to disbelief, so much kinder than truth, but that clay, your clay, still clings to my boots. And the next one is hope. I still think someday soon someone will say they saw you in town, having coffee and reading the great poets. They will say, of course you did not die. Your death notice was a prank, a hoax. Your funeral service and burial, an impractical joke. They will say you're looking well and that your voice softened as you spoke of me, sending your love and saying you will see me on Sunday, and your eyes were full of hope. Last. They sent your things from the nursing home in a box. I waited 2 years to open it. They had washed everything, so your scent was gone, replaced by the fresh laundry smell of no one. Your makeup bag held familiar, forgotten things you used to the end. Comb, mirror, lipstick. I smeared some on my hand to try to remember how it looked on your lips. I touched it to my face, your last kiss. Srebrenica Aftermath, in memory of the blonde boy from Srebrenica shown on TV news just before the massacre, and in memory of all the boys and men of Srebrenica. They pointed their rifles and told you to go. Your body obeyed, but your mind screamed, "No, I am not guilty. I have done no wrong. I'm 16 years old. This is my home." You had no weapons, nowhere to hide. Forced march to the field where you played as a child. All the village boys, all the village men, gone to mass graves. Now, forensic archaeologists from the UN Commission have found enough of your DNA to place in a coffin. The crowd parts as you are brought home again with all the village boys, all the village men, interred with dignity this time. After years of waiting, now your mother knows for sure you will never come bounding through her doorway into her arms again, hair lightened by the sun, scent of summer on your skin, gone forever, like all the village boys, all the village men. On nights too sad for sleeping, she calls your name to the sky and feels what your innocent eyes had to witness before they closed a last time. Was her name on your lips as you died? And not even heaven can help her or heal her, nor all the girls and widows of Srebrenica, still lost in their own world of weeping. Afghanistan. She sent angels to protect him in Afghanistan, paper angels with golden halos to keep him from harm. The night before he left, they chose a name for their child, Angelina for a girl, and Jamie after his father if their baby was a boy. When they brought the news to her, she only heard the words roadside bomb and knew that the better half of her life was gone. She murmured through a blur of tears, "Where were the angels? Where were they? Where?" Give and take in Vietnam. You gave him your prettiness, your girlish slimness, your smile. He gave you a Vietnamese American child. When the troops pulled out, he left you there to bring her up alone. Years later, he got to thinking he didn't want his daughter roaming loose in the shadows of Saigon. He came back and took away the only gift he'd ever given you, just because he can. This one is titled Italy. You moved your heart to Italy for the way he said your name, touched your hair, and the pride in his eyes every time he smiled at you. Now you search in rubble for building blocks of your life. Slowly stack them one on one, and when it's cold and rainy, you remember the heat of his love, the heat of the sun. The night they came. I used to be strong when I was young. Then, in my middle years, I started to fear the night they would come. It was then I began to carry my shotgun, legally held for shooting rabbits and foxes, everywhere I went. I even kept it on the floor beside me as I slept in bed. There are always strange noises at night in the pure blackness of the countryside. The call of the doe, the howl of a dog, the wail of the banshee on the winds from the bog, then the breaking of glass, the cracking of wood. In the darkness surrounding my bed, like living shadows, they stood. One held my shotgun, one held me down, once sneered at the fear in this frail old man. And the last poem is Lucy. Lucy Lavinia Harslow, resting where no shadows fall, departed this life 1830, buried alone. When was your name last spoken, the name you were given with pride? Was it Lucy, Lavinia, Miss Harslow, the day your family name died? Do you rest here, Lucy Lavinia, or long for one of your kin to speak your name once more, that it might live again? I'll say it for you and for them, as if you were alive, with the breath of God in the wind and the light of God in the sky. Lucy Lavinia Harslow. Thank you very much.